Okay, welcome. We are so happy to have you join us today, and we are really excited about our next guest, who I'm hoping will have a chance to join us. So she is actually Dr. Jen Brown, and she is a dentist, and she is at work, and she was going to try to slip away and join us for a few minutes because she is an amazing Liberty mom. She is a mother of 5 amazing boys. So she's a tough cookie, but she also is a dentist, so she works, and so she is at work right now. And we're hoping that she'd slip away. She manages to stay on top of so many things that are going on in our state, and she is like my go-to person for the election bills. And as we have all, I'm just going to say, suffered through the elections, because the outcome has been wonderful nationally, not so much necessarily in the state of Utah, but that's my personal opinion, which you're entitled to, whether you want it or not. But anyway, the process has been miserable. It's been absolutely miserable. It has been very difficult. And so we're going to discuss election bills, because there's a lot of things that happen through the elections. I'm going to talk about those things, and we're going to talk about some of the bills that are being proposed. I want to remind you, you are listening and watching KMMU.org. That's Main Street Media, Utah. We are live on KMMU.org. We're also live on YouTube, X, Rumble, and our website. And we're really, really happy that you're joining us. And we would love to have you join us. I love to hear from callers. We love to have your opinion. You do not have to agree. I promise you, I will be very respectful, no matter how much I disagree with what you have to say. I want you to have an opportunity to say it, and I will be respectful to you. So our call-in number is 385-899-2134. We'd love to hear from you. You can talk about any topic that you want to, including Thanksgiving, including election bills or other bills that you're concerned about, including pro-life, including what's going on in our schools, anything to do with education. There are so many things happening. So feel free to call up and talk about any of those topics that you want to. And now we're going to talk about the election. So, for me, elections are so important, because without free and fair and honest and honorable elections, we have no other freedoms, because you're not going to have the freedom to speak if you don't have election, or be able to the freedom of elections, and elect people who will stand with our Constitution and uphold it. If we can't have the freedom of religion, we can't honor our own conscience and what we believe and hold dear, if we don't elect people that will honor the Constitution. And we've already seen that violation happen numerous times. And so we have to elect people that are honorable and that agree with that. So it brings us, there's so many issues. We have to vet people before we elect them. That's a really important part of elections. We need to have the opportunity to vet people. And we've noticed, I don't know, everybody might not have noticed. I noticed. So I'm going to talk about the issues that I noticed that I think are super problematic in this year's election, and have been since we made a lot of changes to our election. So one of them is mail-in ballots. Now, I understand I love getting my ballot in advance. Of course, I can go online and I can Google my ballot for my district, and it comes right up, and I can look at it, or I can print it, so I can look in advance at all of the offices, everyone that's running, everyone that's on the ballot, all the judges, all the propositions, the initiatives, all of the rap tax, all the different candidates for every position. And we can all do that, but it does take 2 or 3 minutes of effort. It does take a little bit of effort. So yeah, if you don't want to make that effort, it is really nice to just have it show up in your mailbox, and there it is, and you've got it all there. I get that that's advantage. Now, here's the problem that I have with it. First of all, it's a huge expense to mail ballots to people who don't vote, because you mail people these ballots. The design was like that, or so they said, this will make it so it makes it easy to vote, which we want. We want to make it easy to vote as long as people vet, and hard to cheat. But this makes it easy to vote and easy to cheat. Because what happens is they send a ballot to everyone, and not everyone uses up, but then there's all those ballots out there that shouldn't be out there. People who have moved, we're still getting ballots sent. They don't always let the county know that they moved, so the county doesn't know. They send them a ballot. There's lots of people that get ballots that don't live here or that don't qualify to get a ballot, and so that's a problem that I have with the mail-in ballots. I also am against ballot season. I like election day, not election month. So that, and I know a lot of people really like that because, again, it's really convenient. It is convenient, but there's a few issues with that we need to consider. Like, I know we all love convenience, but is it convenience? Does that override accuracy and the security? It totally flies in the face of chain of custody, because when those ballots are mailed out, there's no chain of custody. You hope you get yours. You don't always. You hope people that shouldn't get one don't. But many times I've gotten ballots in my mailbox that have come to my address of people that do not live here any longer and haven't for a while. Now, I could try, because I have access, I could try forging their signature. I could try using their ballot. I would never, because it's immoral, it's dishonest, it's wrong in every way, and it is illegal. Thank goodness. It is illegal, but I wouldn't do it because it's immoral and it's wrong. So I would never do that, but I know people that have, and I'm really sorry that I'm being distracted here for a second. I just received a call from Jen, our next guest, and that means she's having a hard time getting in. So what I am going to do is I am going to send her the link really quickly. And so I'm sorry, this is very painful for you to suffer through, because I'm not as good at doing two things at once as I used to be. One of the bites of getting older, I used to be really good at it. I could do two things at once, but I'm not that good at it anymore. So hopefully I send it to the right place, and hopefully she can get it, and then she can jump in and join us, because I'm really excited to have her on. Jen is really awesome, and she's a great person, and she really knows these bills. So I'm really excited for you to get to hear from her. And okay, so I'm just going to apologize. Talk amongst yourselves. And I will. This is when I need an assistant, which isn't very often, but when I do, I do. When you need somebody, you need somebody. Okay, so hopefully Jen will be joining us soon. So this is a problem. In our law and in wisdom, ballots should always have chain of custody. That means from the moment it leaves the county, even when it's in the county's stewardship, when they're printed, that and the printer, they're supposed to be a chain of custody, so that they don't print ballots that just anybody can have access to. They're supposed to be very, very great oversight, and there has to be at least two people that are over those ballots at all times. So from the moment that they leave. Now, see, this is a problem with turning them over to the Postal Service. There's no chain of custody. Anybody in the Postal Service has access to your ballot. They can just take it. They could just take it, fill it out. I mean, I'm not suggesting they do or that they would, but we know it's happened, and it can happen. So we're giving someone access to the ballots who shouldn't have access to the ballots. But, we really like convenience, so we're willing to do that. Chain of custody, to me, everything has to have chain of custody. But then once you get it, Then we have all these drop boxes. Who has chain of custody over the drop box? Let's say only the people that should have it get their ballots. They're working on, the counties are working on making that happen. They're never going to. Human error. So, and it's just too much lag time. But when you get your ballot, you get it filled out, you go drop it in a drop box. Who's overseeing that? Nobody. So how do we know what the ballot's put in that box? They're not ballot harvesting. Someone's not going around taking them out of mailboxes and then voting and putting them in there. I mean, I just don't really like that there's a lack of chain of custody over that. We don't know what's going on with those. And I don't want to go too far, but what if somebody put like tear gas or a bomb? Those ballots would be destroyed. And so then it's upon everyone. How does anybody know which ballots are in there that got ruined? No, the county wouldn't know. There's no record of who put their ballots in there. So then if you put your ballot in there, you're never going to know if your ballot is recorded or counted unless you go to the county and check. And a lot of counties do have, they send you an email or they have a system where you can go online and check. And that's great because that does give you that ability. But again, there is a huge lack of custody that I don't like. This is really weird. Okay, I'm hoping that Jen will get that really soon. So I know you want to hear from Jen. Okay, so there are several bills. Okay, so that lack of, we've got to have a bill that takes care of chain of custody, but you can't have chain of custody with mail-in ballots. You can't have them with the drop boxes because you just can't have chain of custody. Unless you're going to do drop boxes only 1 or 2 days, which I would be in favor of. I could even handle 2 or 3 days of voting if that makes people feel better, because then you can have someone there 24/7 overseeing that. You have 2 people at those drop boxes. And I really think 2 days would be plenty if you have access to your ballot. Then you can have someone there, 2 different people. I like even more. And everybody, by law, everyone that's on the ballot gets to have someone from their team, someone representing them. Okay, I have got to send this to her one more time because somehow it didn't seem to work. Okay, so sorry about this. I really think I'm just going to start over. Okay. So we can have a show that makes sense. Okay, we're going to try that. Stay with us. Stay here.